Hey guys, so it's been a while since we've talked about loose and slipping glasses. I did a video that's done really well on that, but what do you do when you've got a pair of glasses that maybe they fit great to start with, but now they're just stretched out and falling off? Well, it may not need the same things as I talk about in that other video. So let's dive into what you do with glasses that have stretched out, actually. Same ball field anyway, right? So what do you do when the glasses have stretched out? Well, maybe you get a pair that doesn't stretch out. It doesn't exist. So most acetate frames, like these guys here, these guys actually don't stretch out, but that's another story. Typically the acetate is going to kind of relax over time. Now to start with, if it's thicker material like these, and that other one I showed you, there's a lot there at the bridge. They're not prone to stretching out. So usually in that case, it will be back here at the temples if anything is going on. For that, check out the other video. But if everything is fitting great here, at least behind the ears, maybe not so much here because it's doing this number, then you just need to get the whole frame kind of back into where it belongs. As I mentioned with acetate frames, they'll typically kind of relax into a more natural state. So I explain this to everybody when they pick up a new pair of glasses. You pick it up, we can make it fit great, but until it goes through that kind of initial stretch period, it's not going to be perfect. It needs to get that little stretch, so it's going to go into its little shape it wants to be in on your face. Then we adjust. Then it's perfect. That's not to say don't get them adjusted when you pick up, because they still need to be adjusted so that they can relax, so that they can be adjusted and stay there. I know it sounds silly, right? But what it amounts to, over time, they will lose that. They'll go back into this stretched out shape. Now, depending on the material and how well they're made, how thick the material is, and a lot of other variables is going to determine how quickly that happens. Cheaper plastics, like the 4mm sheets, the injection plastics, things like that, they're going to, they're going to need a lot of working on. If you got your $20 Zennies or whatever, and listen, I don't hate Zenni, I'm just saying they take more work. There's a reason they're cheap. It is what it is. They make some cool stuff. It's accessible, it's cheap, whatever, but it's going to need some work in keeping it in shape. These don't so much. Which is one reason I love the sector that I work in, is because I fit them and I don't have to worry about it coming back all messed up and all over the world. But what you want to do is, when they have stretched out, you'll want to check here, here, and right here in the bridge to get everything tightened back up and snug back up. Now, if you pick them up and they're like this, odds are it's your lenses. That you're not going to be able to do as much with. You can compensate it on the back end with the adjustment, but it's not great. I don't generally like to do that. We have a little more control over our lenses since we finish in-house, so I don't have to worry as much. There, now I'm less red about what happens to the lenses causing that to bow out. As you can see, these are good, but I want you to look at this and pay attention, because this gives you the idea of what you need to look for. You're going to have about 4 to 6 degrees, depending on the frame, of wrap here. Any more than that, it's really bowed in. That you can do if you don't really have much material out here, but in general, you want to bring it in. Most of that stretch is going to happen right in this area, because that's where most of your pressure from the hinges are. So that's going to roll that edge out, and that's where a lot of that aging comes from. Now, sometimes, especially the thinner materials, you will see it here when it starts to look, and I have to put a pretty good bit of pressure, so bear with me. If you have that really flat across the front, or even like that where it's bowed out, don't do this with your frames. I have complete and utter confidence in this one. So when you get that really flat across the front, that's what creates that stretch. Now they're just falling off no matter what you do. You can bend this back here till the cows come home. It's going to continue to fall off because there's not enough pressure here on the side of the face to matter what's happening at the back of the ear. And that's kind of what you do want to look for. You want to bring that back in so it starts to touch right about here and just gradually keeps that pressure all the way to the back. Now, in the other video, we talked about the curvature behind the ear, so I'm not going to get too much into that this time around, but you do want that light touch and pressure all the way back. Now, obviously, if it doesn't touch until you get over the ears, yeah, that's when that happens. If the bend is too soon, it falls forward. If the bend is too far back, it falls forward. Yeah, it's a tough balance to get it all right. So the main takeaway on this, when they stretch out, you're going to heat up this area to get it more like this, back in that 4 to 6 degrees. Then you're going to check your temples here. You want about 5 to 6 degrees off of 90. So you can see on this one, it does come out just a little bit, but then it curves and follows the head. Most people have fairly round heads. More oval, but round-ish. Just look at helmet manufacturers if you don't believe me. Almost everything is round or round-ish. And have some of the Asian brands are that really oblong, but anyway. We're not talking about motorcycle helmets today. You want to see that video, let me know. We'll get into that. Motorcycle helmets and glasses, that's a fun one. Anyways, there you go. There's some tips that I hope help you find what you need. As far as heat, I'll link another video down below on kind of what to go through for heating up those glasses. But the key thing is you want about 4 degrees wrap in this front and about a 95-degree angle here. You don't want that straight 90. Often that's going to be too much pressure, and then the whole thing acts like a spring and keeps pushing itself forward, which nobody particularly enjoys, because then you're right back to glasses that are continually falling off and not that fit perfectly like this, and I can bob my head around like a psychopath and it just fits fine. Stop buying cheap frames. That's the takeaway from this one. Now, if you do have a metal frame, it is unusual to see, but it does happen on metal frames. I've got this guy here just because it's fun and flippy and floppy, and I can very easily manipulate it to do what I want. But occasionally you will see this on a metal frame, where this one is out a little bit, but maybe not too much, but one side is out a lot. You're caught in, what are we recording in? 6K? 8K? I don't know. Whatever, you're caught, period. You're doing this all day long. Every time you take these on and off, you're doing that. That's how this happens. You're putting too much pressure there. There. I can feel it as I'm doing it. Every single time. You might not do it when you bring them to me because you're being conscious of it and you don't want to get caught. But if you're watching this video and you have one side that's way out, you're caught. I know what you did last summer, this summer, the summer before that. I'm about to lose my screw. Okay. And my brain. This is where we stop this video and go on to something else. Let me know if this helped you. If you hate me, whatever, we'll have fun with it. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. And if this did help you out, let me know.